Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson continues to spark controversy over his comments about Russia amid its ongoing war with Ukraine. Take a listen.
How could we possibly benefit from that war? We still don't know the answer to that question, but it is obvious that permanent Washington has been fixated on war with Russia for a very long time. They wanted a war, and now they have one.
Well, now Russia taking notice. According to The Guardian, a leaked Kremlin memo to Russia media says that it is essential to use as much as possible fragments of broadcast of the popular Fox News host Tucker Carlson, who sharply criticizes the action of the United States and NATO.
Joining us right now to talk about this, former advisor to Presidents Clinton and Trump and host of Dick Morris Democracy, Dick Morris himself. Dick, what's your take on this?
Well, I think it's horrible what Tucker is doing. Absolutely horrible. This is an existential fight for freedom and for democracy and for world peace. There are two models going ahead for the next few decades. Either we're going to be back in a might makes right world, where you go out and you grab any country you want, or a rule of law. And we've been moving aggressively toward rule of law, and really have made that the cornerstone of international policy, and now Putin is challenging that. And Tucker is finding all kinds of grounds for siding with Putin. He's worried about the biolabs, he's worried about the no-fly zone, he's worried about the weapons we're using in China. But fundamentally, this is a question of pick your side. Either you're going to be for democracy and for stability in the world, or you're going to be for this kind of, pardon the pun, but Russian roulette world that Putin wants us to live in.
We were just mentioning a short time ago where the State Department, the Treasury specifically, has designated 7 Russian entities as disinformation targets, concentrating on those along with 26 Russians and some Ukraine-based individuals, limiting their access here and their ability to spread disinformation.
Well, I don't think we should necessarily do that. But look, it's very important, speaking to the Newsmax audience. Fox News and Newsmax are obviously the bastions of conservative sentiment in the United States. And if those entities start second-guessing the cause of freedom and start undermining the Ronald Reagan doctrine of trying to keep these countries free, then how is Biden going to stick his neck out? How are the Democrats going to do that? How are the independents going to do it? People look to the Republican Party for leadership in national security. And when one of them just runs out on you, it undermines you. Look at pre-World War II. FDR wanted to give aid to Britain, wanted to send help to France, and Lindbergh and the isolationists, who were Republicans and conservatives, raised hell about it, demonstrated, went crazy about it, and that limited his maneuverability. He couldn't do it. He passed Lend-Lease, I think, by 1 vote in Congress. And it was paralyzed our attempts to cope with Hitler. And now Tucker Carlson is having the same effect on our attempts to help Zelensky and to help democracy and to keep peace.
Dick, why do you think he's doing this?
I don't know, and I certainly don't want to get into impugning his motives. There is a long history of isolationism in America. It was brought to a halt with Pearl Harbor, and then it kind of resurfaced, and then we were all reminded at 9/11 how stupid a doctrine that is, because the United States is part of the world and can't be separate from it. So I don't want to impugn Tucker's motives, but I do think that what he's doing is causing an enormous amount of harm. It's making it harder for Biden to approve a no-fly zone. It's making it harder for NATO to shower the Ukrainian rebels with aid. It's making it harder for the United States to face down China. Because when the conservatives, when the national security Republican conservatives are running out on you, it completely undermines the political calculus. Look, the security and safety of the United States of America is basically vested in the Republican Party. It said that 70% of the Democrats would flee if they were invaded, and 94% of the Republicans or something would fight. That was the most recent poll. So the Republican Party and conservatives are the lodestone, the anchor of national security. The Democrats just live here for the most part. And it's the Republicans that stand up for national security. And if we've ever needed to be united in the face of a common enemy, this is the time.
Well, we were united in giving them aid. I mean, what, $16 billion in aid as part of that $1.3 trillion omnibus spending bill.
Yeah, but we weren't so united. Tucker
today.
opposed it. Tucker Carlson said we were fomenting war by giving aid.
But it still passed.
Yeah, of course, but no thanks to him. Yeah. And he's the leading voice on Fox News. And it's outrageous that a conservative news organ is spouting this kind of stuff and spraying this kind of, frankly, poison. I don't think it should be censored. I don't think it should be banned. But we should recognize the disservice to freedom that he is doing.
All right. All right. Dick Morris, thank you as always. We appreciate it. And be sure to check out Dick Morris Democracy Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern right here on Newsmax.